Hey everybody, it's Dr. Amy Myers. We're going to get started in just a few minutes, waiting for a few more people to join us.
Hey everybody, I'm so excited that you're here with me today, joining me for this very exciting event. If you could, please introduce yourself as well as tell me where you're from. If you're not familiar with me, you might be hearing a few y'alls and hey there's like I just said. That's because I'm from New Orleans. And if you don't know about me, let me tell you something that happened to me. Conventional medicine failed me, and it is my mission to not have it fail you too. So I'm actually trained as a classical medical physician. I did my training in New Orleans, which is where I'm from, at the University or at LSU. And then I went on to become an ER doctor. In the midst of all of that, conventional medicine failed me. I'll tell you a little bit about myself, but just quickly, please know that I have been where you've been. I went to physician after physician with no answers and people telling me it was all in my head. Turns out it wasn't. I had an autoimmune condition of my thyroid that was causing all of my symptoms. So after I had that experience and conventional medicine failed me, I was determined not to have it fail anyone else. After I finished medical school, I went on to become an ER doctor at the University of Maryland and then moved to Austin, Texas. I got back to my roots of deciding that I wanted to go into integrative and functional medicine. So I started taking all the coursework through the Institute for Functional Medicine, and I ultimately opened up my own clinic where I've now seen people literally from all over the world dealing with chronic health conditions, from autoimmune conditions to Candida like we'll be talking about today, thyroid, gut issues, all kinds of things. I went on to write 2 New York Times best-selling books, The Autoimmune Solution and The Thyroid Connection. So today, what we're going to be talking about is how you can avoid having harsh medications and potentially walking around with not even getting to the root cause of what's going on with you. Conventional medicine is missing the boat. For those of you out there who are suffering with things like brain fog, digestive issues, fatigue, skin issues, and even things as big as autoimmune conditions, there is likely one central root cause for the reason why you're dealing with this issue. And when we can get down to that root cause, we can get rid of the issue and then we can get rid of your symptoms. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. This one root cause that might be causing a whole host of issues for you. From brain fog, like I mentioned, to fatigue, to digestive issues, even hormonal imbalances, to anxiety, depression. The symptoms are vast and wide, and it's one of the reasons that conventional medicine is completely missing the boat. But I got your back, because remember, conventional medicine failed me, and it's my mission to not have it fail you too. So today, I'm going to be telling you about 3 easy strategies to beat Candida for good. All right, so let me tell some people hello. We have Judy from Washington. Hey, how's it going? We have Diane from North Carolina. Anita from Norway. All right, hello. Kathy from Australia. Welcome. Dan from St. Paul, Minnesota. Dee Dee from Baton Rouge, back in my home state of Louisiana. And there's so many more. So welcome, everybody. Let's get started.
Today, I'm going to be letting you in on a big secret that conventional medicine is keeping from you. And that is the fog is not all in your head. So I just want you guys to know whether you're dealing with brain fog, digestive issues, rashes, mood swings, or even something more serious like autoimmunity. I want you to know it's not all in your head. I briefly talked about my story earlier when I was diagnosed with Graves. I went to my doctor and I was complaining of anxiety and weight loss, and she brushed me off and told me it was just stress. I mean, that is so frustrating to me. And I see this day in and day out in my clinic. People coming to me with real issues that their doctor has just brushed off, told them that it's all in their head, or worse, that they're crazy. It's so upsetting to me. Guys, this is why I am here for you today. Conventional medicine failed me. I have been in your shoes, and I am not going to let it fail you too. You know, it's so frustrating that you're going back to the doctor with this or that, this brain fog, these digestive issues, and they're just telling you, you know, particularly us females, that it's just some female issue, that it's, you know, your hormones, or that there's nothing wrong with you. And it's so frustrating. So I'm going to show you today exactly how this is not in your head and exactly what to do about it. We're going to get down to the root cause, and most importantly, we're going to get you a solution today. So I want you to know that in just 30 days, you can beat yeast for good. So I have seen time and time again, remember, I have literally seen thousands of patients from all around the world with all kinds of things, from brain fog all the way up to autoimmunity. And you know, one of the main things that they have in common is Candida. And we're going to get into why that is, how that is, and what to do about it. But by treating this super simple condition, I gave them back energy. They got clear in their thinking again. Their brain was firing on all cylinders. The forgetfulness gone out the door. You know, where are those keys? Where did I put my purse? Where's my phone? No more. You know where those things are. The rashes are gone, the mood swings, and that nail fungus that's so stubborn, gone. Poof, gone in 30 days. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. And most importantly, it's effective and it's all natural. So what I want to know today, this is going to be a little bit of a collaboration. I want to get to know you too. So tell me, what are you struggling with? I want to make sure you're in the right place. Let me know what your struggles are. For many of you all, you might be thinking it's brain fog, fatigue, maybe it's gas or bloating. You know, it could even be constipation or diarrhea. Sugar cravings, who does not have those? I know I do on occasion. Dry, itchy, red skin, maybe even nail fungus. Certainly dandruff, athlete's foot. These are big clues, guys. It's going deeper. Those are just outward manifestations. Mood swings, recurrent vaginal yeast infections. How about any vaginal itching, jock itch? Those are big clues, guys. Itchy ears, anything that's itching. That's screaming Candida to me, folks. Again, tell me in the comments what you are struggling with. Sinus infections, maybe some skin issues, and even blood sugar issues like diabetes. So you might be wondering, you know, I hear this day in and day out from my patients. And, you know, I experience this myself with my very own doctor. You're thinking, what's wrong with me? I knew for me, I was being told, oh, it's just stress. But I knew, you know, my mother had passed away unexpectedly from pancreatic cancer just a year before my condition. I had been a Peace Corps volunteer out in the middle of nowhere all by myself. And now I was a medical school student. And I had real stresses that I'd never responded to like this. But my doctor, yeah, she told me it was stress. It was all in my head. I've been there. So you might be wondering, is it all in your head? I'm going to tell you how it's not. Is this normal? No, it is absolutely not normal to feel anything less than great, folks. Where did these symptoms come from? Is there anybody who can help me? Yes, you're in the right place. And will you ever feel like yourself again? Absolutely. I have goosebumps right now just thinking about the thousands upon thousands of people. Literally, it's tens of thousands, if not hundreds, of the people that I've helped through my extended programs and books. So I can tell you, because day in and day out, I get letters from people, emails, Facebook messages. They have their life again, and you can be one of them too. So I want to go over some of the answers that we've already gotten back from people. It looks like Peg is dealing with psoriasis and Candida. Lorraine has brain fog, fatigue, and bloating, you're absolutely in the right place. And PEG, psoriasis, I see a big correlation with Candida. K has itchiness everywhere. Yes, I think you're in the right place. Monica, brain fog and nail fungus, for sure, you're in the right place. Summer has anxiety, and Sherry with Hashimoto's, fatigue, and sugar cravings. All of you all are in the right place. So please, I don't want you to feel embarrassed by your symptoms. I don't want you to be ignored by your doctor any longer. And I certainly don't want you to feel tired or feel like you're missing out on your life or that your symptoms are holding you back. You're in the right place, and we're going to get some answers for you and solutions today. So over the next 45 minutes, I'm going to talk to you about how you can clear this fog. You know, I'm using the word fog over and over again in this presentation because brain fog is the #1 symptom that I hear for people suffering with Candida. And I'm going to talk to you about how this little yeast can wreak havoc in your gut and over your entire body, creating a whole myriad of symptoms. Many of those symptoms that you all said that you were suffering with today just a few minutes ago. So this presentation is going to be packed with life-changing information. And I'm going to share with you at the end where you can get additional help if you'd like to learn more. So what I'd like to know again over in the comments, is that okay with you that I share some additional information should you like to get more help for anything that we didn't cover here in this presentation? Please let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear from you if you're okay with me sharing that information at the end of this presentation. All right, so what I'd like to do before we really get started here is for all of you to turn off your cell phones. Unless, of course, you're watching this presentation on your cell phone. You don't want to turn it off. But otherwise, turn off your cell phone, shut down your email, get off Facebook, and let's focus, because I want you to know that what I'm going to be telling you may be vastly new information for many of you. And in fact, might be completely contradictory to what your physician is telling you. Remember, I am a conventionally trained physician with additional training through the Institute for Functional Medicine. So I'll talk about how I practice very differently now. So please, if you'd like to take some notes, feel free to take notes. And most importantly, come with an open mind, because again, this might be new or even contradictory from what you've heard before. Now, if you stay till the end, I'd like you to know that I'll be sending you a special bonus gift of 5 irresistible smoothies that are going to help you beat sugar cravings. So if you stick around till the end, not only will you get the special bonus delivered straight to your inbox tomorrow, I'll also be going through some Q&As with you all. So you have the ability to ask me live questions at the end of this talk. Again, why am I doing this training? Well, I'm doing this training because as I have worked with thousands of people across the globe with all kinds of health conditions, this is literally the #1 root cause problem that I see in people with all kinds of issues. Again, from that brain fog to anxiety to digestive and skin issues, all the way up to autoimmune and thyroid issues. So having this condition of Candida can set you on a path to having chronic illness. And I will talk to you exactly why that is and exactly what to do about it. This is the most common condition that I see being missed by all kinds of other doctors, even, sometimes functional and integrative doctors, but certainly conventional doctors, because they don't even believe that this is a problem. They don't even believe that Candida overgrowth exists. So of course they're not going to look for it or diagnose you with it or begin to give you solutions to get rid of it. And it is the one thing, there are a couple of things. I don't have too many magic bullets in my clinic. I practice functional medicine, which works to get to the root cause of what's going on with you. And sometimes that takes a long time for some people. Other people, it happens pretty quickly. But there are a couple things in my practice that are like literally the magic bullet. And I will tell you that treating people for Candida in my clinic is almost like crack. They're coming back and back for the treatment because it has such a profound impact on how they feel. So the good news about all of this is it's treatable. And I'm going to show you 3 simple ways to do that in just a minute. So why are other doctors getting this wrong in the first place? I already kind of brought up the first one. They're not listening to us, folks. We women particularly, they're not listening to us. Many of these symptoms are vague. They're fatigue, they're brain fog, they're moodiness. These male physicians are just like, you women, it's all in your head. So they're not even listening to us. I know this. I used to be an ER doctor and people would come in with these complaints and I didn't have any tools to deal with them. So I too was like, these people, they're just kind of crazy. But now being a functional medicine doctor, I have a solution for you. And so I don't think they're crazy. I know what the issue is and we can treat it. So they're always telling us it's in our head. They don't believe this exists, like I've already mentioned. And of course, they're not ever, as a conventional physician, looking to get to the root cause. What they believe in is something called systemic candidiasis. And this is a real condition, but this is a life-threatening condition where Candida gets in your blood and it can be life-threatening for people. But this isn't not what I'm talking about today. I'm talking about Candida overgrowth, not the systemic Candida in your blood. Now, I've mentioned functional medicine, and for many of you all, you might not know what that is. So functional medicine, which is a type of medicine that I practice now, we really seek to get to the root cause of whatever's going on with you. We're not treating symptoms. We're not just looking to give you pills. We look to the root cause and to find the root cause of your symptoms so that you can actually overcome the illness. So since becoming an ER doctor and then doing my training through the Institute for Functional Medicine, again, I've opened a clinic in Austin, Texas, where I've treated thousands of patients from around the world with very complex illnesses, many of which have Candida as the root cause. I went on to write two New York Times best-selling books, The Autoimmune Solution and The Thyroid Connection, of which I talk extensively about Candida overgrowth and both of them as being root causes for both of those conditions. And in addition, I've created a PBS special called the 28-Day Metabolism Makeover that's been viewed all around the world on PBS. I've been featured in all kinds of magazines and on the Dr. Oz show a number of times. But most importantly, I've been where you've been, which to me is the most important part about all of this, right? Who cares what shows I've been on, what magazines I've been on? I've been in your shoes and I'm now on the other side. And I've helped thousands of people just like you who've been in your shoes get to the other side. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. So I'd like to share a story with you about one of my patients, and her name is Anna. So Anna came to see me with brain fog, fatigue, acne, sugar cravings, weight gain, bloating, depression, irritability, and mood swings. So, this was like an entire laundry list of symptoms that she had. And poor thing, she was only 35 years old. How many of you all can relate to that, right? How many of you out there in your 30s, 40s? Probably many of you. It's how the age of most of the patients that I see. She was a stay-at-home mom with two children. One was 2 and one was 5. So this brain fog and fatigue, she felt like there was a cloud just over her at all times. She couldn't remember where she put her car keys or her purse. And then she'd get to the grocery store and realize she forgot her grocery list at home. How many of you all can relate to that? I certainly used to be able to relate to that. She'd fall asleep on the sofa quite frequently when her 2 children were napping. She could barely get through her day with low energy, and she had very little sex drive, which wasn't helping things with her husband. Acne she'd been struggling with most of her life, and she was told, you'll grow out of it. But it really never went away. The sugar cravings and the weight gain really started after her second child. Her first child, she had no trouble losing that extra 10 pounds that she had gained with her birth. But now she was struggling to get these last 10 pounds off after the birth of her second child. And no matter what she could do, she would always turn back to the sugar. She felt like she had no willpower. She was having these constant cravings. And then, of course, bloating after she'd indulged in the sugar. And then finally, she was getting depressed because she just felt like, wow, is this how I'm going to live my life? I'm 35. I barely have the energy to get through my day with my children. My husband and I, we're not really connecting lately. And then I'm just on this treadmill of feeling like I need to lose weight, doing everything I feel like I can, and then just breaking down to the sugar. So she was getting super discouraged, which is, what happens when we get in this boat. She went to her conventional doctor, and like many conventional doctors, what did they do? They just said, of course, you just had 2 children. No wonder you're tired. Yeah, take some time for the wait. You're getting older. You're 35. And what did they do? They gave her a bunch of pills. They gave her antibiotics and birth control for the acne. They put her on a weight loss program of a low-fat diet, basically told her to exercise more, and then told her, yeah, why don't we get on some antidepressants? It really does sound like you're depressed. And all that bloating, just take some over-the-counter pills for the bloating. I mean, really, guys, how many of you have been in this boat? You're going to your doctor with real issues, and all they do is throw pills at you. They're not even interested in wondering, could all these things be related? Is there any root cause here? No, just pills. So Anna eventually found her way to me. Thank goodness. So we sat down and chatted. And where I always start with a patient is their history. And what I heard from Anna is that she was a C-section. She'd been born by a C-section. She wasn't breastfed, so she'd missed out on all her good bacteria. She didn't go through the birth canal, so she missed out on getting a good, healthy gut microbiome. And then turns out maybe she had a dairy issue. So she was getting lots of ear infections, which led to more antibiotics. And then as a kid, she grew up on a SAD diet. That's, your standard American diet. She wasn't eating a whole lot of fruits and vegetables. And then she was given antibiotics as a teenager and into her adult life for this acne. And again, as you saw, her doctors put her back on the birth control pill to get rid of the acne as well. And then she had 2 pregnancies. Now, what did all this tell me? All of these things were screaming Candida. Let me show you how it works. So she was born by C-section, so she missed out on the good bacteria. When you go through the birth canal, you take a big gulp and that's how your microbiome in your gut starts. Then she was put on antibiotics for the acne and also the birth control. So we know that high estrogens from things like birth control or having hormonal imbalances can lead to Candida overgrowth. If you take antibiotics and you wipe out all your good bacteria, boom, Candida overgrowth. And then pregnancy, it's a high estrogen state. Another clue for Candida. And then the fact that she's craving sugar, these yeast need to be fed, they crave sugar. They can actually be what's causing you to crave sugar. Not you, it's not your willpower, it's the little yeasty beasties in there. And then of course, the more sugar you're eating, the more the yeast is gonna get worse. And then she was having chronic stress, right? She's feeling depressed, down in the dumps. She's 35 years old. She's not living the life she wants to be living. So all of that can lead to Candida overgrowth. So let's get into this. We just saw kind of how that happens, but what's going on? Well, it all goes back to one simple gut issue. You can see in the beginning with the microbiome and then the yeast. We're going to talk about it. So I always say the gut is the gateway to health. So your gut contains trillions of microbes. In fact, we know that there are now more cells in us and on us than there are of our very own cells. And it's this microbiome in there, this good bacteria, that's really keeping everything in balance for us. Nearly 80% of your immune system is sitting right there in your gut. So if you're dealing with any sort of autoimmune issues, any inflammatory issues, we really need to look at the gut. And then of course, if you're dealing with any mood-mind issues, 95% of your neurotransmitters are made right there in your gut. So once you repair the gut, you can take back your life. So what we're going to be talking about today is all about Candida, what it is, 4 ways that it gets out of control, how it wreaks havoc on your entire body, and of course, I'm sure what you all are waiting for, how to beat it in 3 easy steps. So let's get going. Okay, Candida. Now you'll hear me maybe refer to things as Candida or yeast overgrowth throughout the presentation. Candida is yeast. Now, Candida is the most common type of yeast that there is. So frequently the terms Candida and yeast overgrowth get interchanged. Not all yeast overgrowth is Candida, however. But a small amount normally lives in our digestive tract. So I like to think of, and I'll talk about it in a second, about the gut being a rainforest. Now, this small amount of yeast helps us digest our nutrients. It helps us with absorption. It's how we get our micronutrients. So we all have a little bit of it. But as I mentioned, our gut sits there in this very delicate balance. We get our microbiome essentially in the womb with our mom, and then we're re-inoculated or super inoculated as we go through the birth canal. So if you miss that and you're a C-section baby, then you're not going to begin to start off with a healthy rainforest to begin with. And this rainforest, everything's in balance. We have good bacteria. We even have bad bacteria in there. We have yeast. We might even have some parasites, and it all sits there in a nice, lovely balance. But when something gets out of balance, like we take antibiotics, or we miss out on breastfeeding, or we miss out on going through the birth canal, or we take some other medications that disrupt the gut, or we're stressed out, or foods, these things can disrupt the microbiome. It disrupts the rainforest. And when the rainforest gets disrupted, then the bad guys can overgrow. And that's how yeast overgrowth can start. So when all your good bacteria or some of your good bacteria get wiped out, then the Candida can come in and take over. It's like having weeds in your rainforest. You don't want that. When you got weeds in your rainforest, then it can weaken your immune system. Remember, nearly 60 to 80% of your immune system sitting right there in your gut. And then when nobody's looking, it keeps multiplying and multiplying. And remember, those sugar cravings, that can often be the yeast itself saying, feed me, feed me. So when the yeast needs to be fed and you give into those sugar cravings, then it multiplies. Stress can do this too. It can cause things to just get out of control. It's like a spiral. Once one thing gets out of control, it's just, everything, it's like the domino effect. One domino goes down and then they all go down. So we're going to talk about 4 ways that Candida can really get out of control. We talked about some of them already, which is not getting enough of your good bacteria in your mom's womb, and then being born by C-section versus a vaginal delivery. This is actually a picture of me and my daughter, whom I adopted, and she actually was a C-section baby. Now, there's something called seeding where you can actually get wiped down with the microflora within the vaginal canal, and their studies are showing that this is almost just as effective as having a birth delivery. So we had that done for Elle. So if anybody's out there listening and you're currently pregnant, thinking about getting pregnant, need to have a C-section, something to consider. Certainly, if you can, it's always preferred to breastfeed as well, because not only does breast milk have microbiota in it and the good bacteria, but it also has food for the good bacteria and enzymes as well. So all of these things are going to help your baby to develop a healthy microbiome. Now, ear infections is something that I commonly hear with children, and often these are in formula-fed or milk drinking children. So please know that there is a connection between milk allergy and ear infections. And of course, if you end up getting antibiotics for these ear infections, nearly 90% of ear infections in children are viral, so they don't require antibiotics. But if you do get antibiotics, that's another way to wipe out the good bacteria. So any of these things can lead to yeast overgrowth. The second is diet. So this, of course, is more to the children, and then of course us. So diet high in carbs, sugar, and alcohol can feed the yeast, particularly fermented alcohols like wine and beer, because they are yeast themselves. We all know sugar is not so great for us, right? But are you thinking about the carbs like rice and beans and things that we typically think are healthy? These too can even feed Candida. And then, of course, as I mentioned, the sugar craving can be coming from the yeast itself, causing you to crave more sugar, want to eat more carbs, and then it's this whole cycle just over and over again. Now, I feel differently than some people out there who talk about yeast and overcoming yeast overgrowth. And I believe that you should not indulge in fermented foods until after you've treated the yeast. I think of it like a fish tank, that there are good fish and bad fish in there. And when you give them fish food, which is fermented foods, it can feed the good and the bad fish. So when you eat fermented foods, the yeast can feed off of them as well. So for me, I like you to avoid those, and we'll talk about that as we're getting into the solution here in a minute, that to avoid those fermented foods until after we've treated the yeast. Now, Cause number 3 is medications. We all know about antibiotics. I've talked about that. But did you know that anti-inflammatories such as Motrin can disrupt your microbiome too? We're getting a lot of studies about this, and that can potentially lead to yeast overgrowth. Steroids, many of the patients that I see because they're dealing with autoimmunity are on steroids like prednisone. Even those nasal sprays, those can weaken the immune system and lead to yeast overgrowth. And then I mentioned earlier about a high estrogen state, birth control pills, hormone replacement therapy, and even just having something called estrogen dominance, where you have less progesterone than estrogen, which is a huge problem in our society now because we have all of these xenoestrogens or fake estrogens in our makeup, in plastics, in our food, frankly, from hormone-driven meats to even our cleaning products. So this is a real big issue for people these days, particularly women. And then the 4th cause, chronic stress. Who out there is stressed? I know I can be on occasion, running a business, being a new mom, trying to, host webinars and prevent conventional medicine from failing all of you all out there. So we need to be dealing and really working on relieving stress. Stress is meant, or cortisol that comes out when we're stressed, is meant to heighten our immune system. And it does that in the acute sense. But if stress gets chronic, that ultimately suppresses the immune system. A suppressed immune system can lead to yeast overgrowth. High cortisol can lead to high estrogen. High estrogen can lead to yeast overgrowth. And then, of course, stress in and of itself, whether it's physical stress or mental stress, can disrupt our microbiome and lead to Candida overgrowth. So again, let's look back at Anna's story. She was born by C-section, so she didn't get her good bacteria. She was then formula fed. She didn't get everything she needed in the breast milk to feed her good bacteria. She might have even had a sensitivity to dairy. She got antibiotics for acne and then one on the birth control, high estrogen. She had 2 pregnancies relatively back to back, high estrogen states. Then she was having sugar cravings, which was leading her to eat higher carb. She was gaining weight, all of which can lead to yeast overgrowth. All of this, then she was getting stressed about being 35, being a mother of 2, not being the wife or the mother that she wanted to be, and not having the energy and having all this brain fog and not living the life that she really wanted to be living, was leading to chronic stress and then depression. So then this led to yeast overgrowth, and then we're going to talk about here how yeast overgrowth can lead to the brain fog, the fatigue, the acne, the bloating, the depression, the mood swings. We're going to get into all of that here in a minute about how yeast overgrowth, this is almost like a cycle. All these things led to yeast overgrowth, and then the yeast overgrowth led to all these other symptoms, and it's a whole cycle. And I'm going to help you break that cycle, folks. All right, so we're going to get into how Candida wreaks havoc on your entire body. So we've already discussed how Candida can have symptoms that are vast and wide, and it's one of the biggest reasons that conventional medicine is failing each and every one of you all with these symptoms. So it can be anywhere, just to review super quickly, anywhere from brain fog to itchy ears to skin issues to digestive issues, all the way up to mood and mind issues. So I like to call it the digestive drama. So when you disrupt that microbiome in there, it's going to lead to bloating. It can be constipation for some, diarrhea for others. Bloating is a big word or symptom that I hear that makes me think about yeast. Also makes me think about small bowel bacterial overgrowth. We're not going to get into that right now, but just have that on your radar. But when your microbiome is disrupted, when that rainforest isn't in perfect harmony, you of course can have digestive issues. Can lead to skin issues. So when you have one of these, nail fungus, dandruff, this is actually fungus, folks. So if you have a skin issue that is actually fungal in nature, tinea versicolor, where you get the white spots when you go out in the sun, those are all fungus. That to me is an external manifestation of something going on deeper down in the gut. I see so many people in my clinic with eczema, psoriasis, rosacea, and other just random rashes that nobody can figure out. And when we treat the gut and get rid of the Candida, these rashes magically disappear. appear. So please, and then itching, whenever I hear itching, in medicine there's something called pathognomonic. When you hear itchy skin, particularly anal itching, genital itching, these things are pathognomonic for yeast. Ear itching as well. So we're talking about the gut here and how important the gut is. I already brought up how 95% of your serotonin is made right there in your gut. So that's one of the ways that when you have yeast, the thought is this yeast kind of lays a layer over your gut, and then you can't make your serotonin. So 95% of it is made in our gut and gets secreted from our gut. But if you have yeast there, it lays a layer over it, and your gut can't produce the serotonin. So it's why we can have mood-mind issues, and why we can have depression, and why we can have anxiety. I have, for many people, cleared up the Candida, and then boom, they're able to make their serotonin. They feel good. They're happy. They're not depressed. It's just, for many people, can be a simple solution. And then for all this forgetfulness and all this brain fog, the number one reason why I see that brain fog is the biggest issue for people with Candida is because the yeast actually produces an alcohol. It's called acetaldehyde. It's why some people can actually feel drunk when they have Candida, or that they can have neurologic disturbances. I've had people literally have full workups with MRIs and all kinds of things by neurologists, when really we treat the Candida and their, dizziness, their feeling off balance, these things go away because this alcohol is toxic to your brain. It's why we can have brain fog issues, memory, concentration issues, even ADD and ADHD. And then, of course, we need to talk about Candida, leaky gut, and the autoimmune connection. Now, I write about this extensively in my book, The Autoimmune Solution. And so many of you all out there are not only suffering with brain fog and Candida, I saw so many of you all writing in about psoriasis, rheumatoid arthritis, Hashimoto's. These are autoimmune conditions. And for a lot of people, Candida can be the thing that can be leading potentially to something called leaky gut. And we know through the work of Alessio Fasano at Harvard that leaky gut is the gateway to autoimmunity. So I felt it important to just bring up this connection to you here in this talk. So Candida has multiple different stages, and when it's in its budding phase, it's reproducing. But once it gets to this hyphae stage, it can wiggle its way into your bloodstream through this something called leaky gut. And this is what we really want to be avoiding. So for those of you who are new to this, leaky gut, I like to think of it like a drawbridge. Our gut is normally semi-permeable, meaning that we can digest and absorb teeny tiny particles that we need, micro and macronutrients. That's how we absorb them. So it's like the little boats can get through the bridge. But the big boats that are not meant to get in have to have a signal to open the bridge in order to get in. And that's exactly what happens when you have a leaky gut. Something stimulates that drawbridge, or these tight junctions in your gut, to open and stay open. And then things that were never meant to get in, like food particles like gluten or dairy or things like yeast, get in. Our immune system sitting right there. Our gut is one cell layer thick. Our 80 to 90% of our immune system, 60 to 80% of it sitting right there. And it goes on high alert, goes to attack that molecule, and then boom, through something called molecular mimicry, a little bit too much for this talk, gets in, and that can create an autoimmune situation where it's actually fighting our own tissues. So leaky gut, like I mentioned, we can have food particles, viruses, bacteria, yeast, toxins, microbes come into the bloodstream, the immune goes to attack it, and then some of our very own tissues look exactly like these particles, and they end up attacking our own tissues, and that can lead to autoimmunity. Now, the good news that I write about in the Autoimmune Solution is that I think of autoimmune as a spectrum. So there's some people, I don't know who they are, who have absolutely no inflammation going on in their body. And then others that have, a couple times a week, maybe some bloating, maybe some rashes, maybe some literally joint pain or swelling. And then as this progresses, it can potentially turn all the way into a full-blown autoimmune disease. But the good news is if you work your way up that spectrum, you can work your way back down that spectrum. And that's what we'll be talking about today. And for many people who've worked their way all the way up this spectrum, yeast can be a root cause for them that when they deal with that, they're on their way to working their way back down the spectrum. So I know this is the part that all of you all have been waiting for. How exactly are we going to beat this Candida? So I'm going to tell you right here, my simple 3-part, all-natural strategy to beating Candida in 3 simple steps. Everybody listening up? You ready? All right, let's go. Number 1, we are going to starve the yeast. So the first thing you do is to remove what you are feeding the yeast. So we're going to ditch all the sugar. We're going to ditch even some of the grains and legumes and things that you think are healthy, but ultimately they turn into carbs. So we're going to ditch those foods. We're going to ditch the fermented foods, the wines, the beers, and we're going to minimize our healthy starchy vegetables and fruits to just 2 cups a day. We'll be talking, we're going to be eating lots of good non-starchy vegetables and lean animal proteins, and all kinds of yummy, healthy fats like avocados. My second strategy is to kill the yeast. So first we're going to starve it, now we're going to kill it. How do we kill it? We're going to kill it with 2 plant-based products. One comes from coconut, and it's this coconut blend that is going to help the short-chain fatty acids actually are acids, and they break down the yeast cell wall, and they make it an inhospitable environment for the yeast to be in your gut. And then we have another product that is dealing with digestive enzymes that are going to help basically break down the yeast cell wall through these digestive enzymes. So one's sort of poking holes in the yeast cell wall and making an environment where the yeast doesn't want to live. And then the other one is going to be breaking down the yeast cell wall through digestive enzymes. And then the third part, you need to be restoring your good microbiome with probiotics, a super duper high quality 100 billion unit probiotic to put back in all that good bacteria to help beat out that yeast. Just to recap, guys, so what we've done is we've just gone through what is Candida, 4 ways Candida gets out of control, how it can wreak havoc on your entire body, leading to all those symptoms that you showed up to this talk for, and exactly how to beat it in 3 easy steps. So the good news is we know how to reverse it. You're going to get your life back. I'm going to tell you what I did for Anna. I'm just going to recap her story and how she got her life back so that you too know it's possible to get your life back as well. So remember, Anna, she's 35, a stay-at-home mom with 2 small children. She was under a cloud with her brain fog. She couldn't remember where she was putting her car keys. She was forgetting her grocery list, and she was falling asleep on the sofa when her kids were napping. She'd been struggling with acne. She thought she'd grow out of it. She never did. She was in that terrible cycle of these sugar cravings, wanting to lose weight from her second child, feeling like she had no willpower and constantly just beating herself up because she was giving in to the cravings. She then, of course, would get bloating afterwards and then depression. This is not what she wanted her life to be like. She wanted to be happy. She wanted to be healthy. She wanted to be there for her husband and her 2 small children. So what I want to know from you guys is, what would your life be like? What would your life be like after you beat Candida? I'm going to show you what Anna's life is like, but what would yours be like? Would you be able to play with your kids, go for a hike, not have to worry about embarrassing skin issues, be able to wear a black shirt and not have dandruff coming down, not feel anxious or depressed, be at the prime of your game, whether it's at work or your passions, because your brain is firing on all cylinders. No more brain fog. No more getting to the grocery store and forgetting the list. No more mood swings. What would your life be like? For Anna, Her success was amazing. She used the exact same protocol that I'm talking to you guys about today. We went through those same 3 easy steps. What she got was returned energy and vitality. She got her spark back. Her brain was firing on all cylinders. She wasn't forgetting her keys or the grocery list. And when her kids were sleeping, she was able to follow some of her passions and even get all the things on her to-do list checked off. And most importantly, she went away on a getaway with her husband, a romantic getaway. She had her libido back. Her skin was clear. She was no longer embarrassed to go out without makeup. She was back to her ideal weight. She told me that on a romantic vacation with her husband, she was back in her bikini. You go, girl. No more belly bloating. She even let her husband take a photo of her on the beach in her bikini. And she wasn't depressed. I mean, the most important thing, I'm getting a little teary-eyed here. The most important thing is a woman 35 in the prime of her life who was told by her doctors, it was in her head, there was nothing more they could do other than give her these drugs, antibiotics, which as we know, were only going to wreak more havoc on her, give her antidepressants, which were not the answer to her problem. Remember, she had this yeast. She couldn't make her serotonin. Her life was back, guys, and you can have it too, all naturally following the exact same program that Anna was following. So again, tell me, what will your life be like? I want to support you in your transformation. Conventional medicine failed me, failed Anna. I am on a mission to not have it fail you too. Please tell me in the comments, what will you be doing when you are living symptom-free? I want you to regain your confidence. Say goodbye to embarrassing symptoms. I want you to have more time and energy to do those things that you love, what you're passionate about, whether it's playing with your kids, starting your own business, maybe becoming a health coach and helping people just like I am. Most importantly, I want you to feel like yourself again, maybe even better, without brain fog, without mood swings. I want you to prevent more serious issues from developing. I myself have an autoimmune condition. Conventional medicine failed me. It is my mission to not have it fail you too. Often with most of the people that I see with chronic health conditions, including autoimmunity, Candida is at least one of the part of the root causes for them. So we saw how having Candida leads you to leaky gut, which can lead potentially to an autoimmune condition. I don't want that for you. I want you to get back to enjoying time with your family. So let's see. Karen says, playing with her children. I know, I have a daughter and it's the biggest joy in life is to spend time with her playing, watching her giggle. Liz wants to be dancing. I love it. I wonder what kind of dancing you like, Liz. Amy, enjoying her family and playing tennis. Awesome. Annette, not visiting doctor's offices. Yeah, guys, I mean, how much time are you going to have not going from doctor to doctor with not getting any answers? Think of the co-pays you're paying. Chris, remembering things without multiple notes. I hear you there, Chris. I was one of those people too. Cheryl, starting her own business. Yay, I have goosebumps. Go, Cheryl. What kind of business do you want to start? Lauren, finishing writing her book. Go, Lauren. That's awesome. That's a whole endeavor in and of itself. You go, girl. Kara, actually playing with her children. I know, no greater joy. So that's what today's session was all about. I wanted to give you everything that you needed to be able to get your life back, to play tennis, to dance, to play with your children, to write a book, to start a business, to not be spending hours upon hours, days potentially going to doctor's offices, co-pays to get no answer. So remember at the beginning of this talk, I told you that at the end, I was going to share with you a place that you could get more information if you wanted additional help. So if it's okay with you, what I'd like to do is to show you exactly where you can get that additional help if you'd like. This is where you can live your own success story. It's the Candida Breakthrough Program. It's a program that I created based on my own experience in working with thousands of patients dealing with Candida. You know, I get real-time feedback, what's working, what's not working. And this program is a 30-day done-for-you program, the exact same program that I use in my clinic. Literally, that would cost you thousands and thousands of dollars if you came to see me in my clinic. I'm not even taking new patients, but if I were, it would cost you thousands of dollars. But I have it all here for you, the Candida Breakthrough Program, which is a 30-day done-for-you program. That's the exact same protocol I use in my clinic. So again, to go over how it works, we go through starving the yeast. I tell you exactly how to do that. I make it super easy for you. I've worked with my registered dietitian. We tell you exactly what to eat for 30 days. And it's delicious. Step 2, show you exactly how to kill the yeast. Not only do I show you how to kill the yeast, I provide you with exactly the supplements that you need to kill the yeast. Tell you exactly how to take them and what to do. And then third, we're going to restore your gut. Remember, it's super important to get those very specific, high quality, 100 billion unit microbiome to restore, or bacteria to restore your microbiome. So why does this program work? I mean, of course, it's based on what I've been doing in my clinic. It's not only based on what I do in my clinic, but I've been researching literally for a decade. My clinic has been open for a decade. I've been working with thousands of people. This program is proven. I use it every day in my clinic. And we've done this program and it is available on my website with thousands of patients around the world. There have literally been maybe even potentially in the tens of thousands of people who've now done this program. And we know it works. You get step-by-step instructions, exactly what to do. You don't need to think about a thing. I've done it all for you. You have all the tools and all the support that you need to be successful, to get your life back, to get rid of the brain fog, to play with your children, to write your book, to hike those mountains, and to be with your family. I do not want you to continue to be failed by conventional medicine. I have a solution for you, and it's right here. Again, I have every meal mapped out for you. I worked with my registered dietitian. We have meal planning, recipes, shopping guides, so that you are not spending countless hours at the store or the kitchen trying to figure it out. We tell you exactly what to do. The recipes are delicious, and they're made generally with 5 ingredients or less so that they are quick and easy. So you're not spending hours in the store or the kitchen. We have a step-by-step guide. Everything is mapped out so there's no guesswork. It's literally like having me sitting right next to you in your home, coaching you on exactly what to do. The meals are delicious. Your children and your spouse are going to love them too. Trust me, look at that dessert. That's my favorite dessert, this chocolate mousse. It is incredible. We even let you have dessert on a Candida program. I mean, are you kidding me? Yeah, it's amazing. And all of them, if you're someone who's following an autoimmune paleo protocol, an autoimmune protocol, the Myers way, it is approved for any one of these protocols. And of course, you get all of the supplements that you need in order to fight the yeast. Step 2 is to kill the yeast. So we got it right here with the caprylic acid that's going to poke holes in the yeast cell wall, the candisol that's an enzyme that's going to help break down the yeast cell wall. And of course, the third step is to go back and add in the good bacteria, which we have all for you. So all of the supplements, everything that you need is included right here in this 30-day program for you. And again, this is exactly what I have my patients do. And it costs them literally thousands of dollars to sit down with me to go over this. And you get the exact same program in the comfort of your own home. So you can be Candida free for life. So many people tell me once they treat the Candida, it's like literally like a light bulb going off. Their brain fog is gone. Their brain is firing. They're not wondering, I walked in the room. Well, I forgot this. What's going on? And even yesterday, I had a patient in my clinic with fibromyalgia. I forgot to bring this up at the beginning about how fibromyalgia in and of itself, now fibromyalgia is real. Sometimes it can just be hypothyroidism. Sometimes it can be a lot of different things, but often I see Candida. I had a patient literally yesterday who could barely get off the sofa. She had pain throughout her body, and after we treated her Candida, it was gone. Literally gone. So you too can be Candida free for life. You might see some other programs out there that are helping to beat Candida. Why is this one different? It's doctor designed. It's the only one that I'm aware of that is actually physician designed. I work with patients. I have a real clinic. I've been working for 10 years, a decade with people from around the world. I see this day in and day out. It is a proven program. This came out of what I do with my own patients in my own clinic. And then literally, it has been used by thousands and thousands of patients or people outside of my clinic. We have all of the guidance, all of the tools, all of the support that you need to succeed. And I am so committed to this program that I will offer it to you 30-day, risk-free, satisfaction guarantee, 30-day money back. I stand 100% behind this program. I know it works. So if you try it and you don't feel it works for you, you can call us and get your money back. No questions asked. That's how strongly I feel that you can get your life back with this program. So again, let's just walk through the Candida Breakthrough Program. You are going to get your energy and your vitality back so that you can enjoy having the energy to explore, to travel, to write that book, to dance, to play with your children, to hike, whatever it is that you want to do, to simply go to the grocery store pain-free and brain fog-free. Some people, that's all they want. No more forgetfulness. You'll regain clear thinking. Your brain will be firing on all cylinders, and you'll be at the top of your game, whether it's for your career or your passions. No more rashes, no more dry skin, itching, or nail fungus. Imagine wearing open-toed shoes, tank tops, a black shirt, or even a bikini like Anna. No more gas, bloating, digestive issues. Imagine what a flat tummy will look like again, connecting to that former version of yourself. Do you remember what that feels like? No more mood swings, so you can do the things you want. Enjoy your children, enjoy your husband, enjoy your partner, enjoy your friends without feeling short-fused. And again, it all comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. No questions asked. Invest in your health, folks. It's easy. It's simple. It's right here for you. Say yes to your health. Say yes to having your life back. If you came to see me in Austin, I've already brought up how I'm not taking new patients. I'm focusing on really helping as many people as I possibly can not be failed by conventional medicine. And I'm spending time with my daughter. But if you were able to come see me in Austin to go through this exact same program that I've laid out for you here today, this would literally cost you thousands of dollars. But today, really, anytime, you can get this program on my website for just $249. The exact program. All the info that you need to get through 30 days, the meal plans, the recipes, shopping list, all the supplements for $249. In addition, if you decide to take back your health this week, I'm going to include a few additional bonuses. I had so much fun interviewing 4 world-renowned experts that I have some special training bonuses surrounding Candida for you. And then my registered dietitian and I have done this program in the past, and we did some live Q&As of the most commonly asked questions while going through the challenge. And you're going to get those videos as well. Let me walk you through it. So I interviewed Emily Fletcher, who is the founder of Ziva Meditation. So what you're going to learn in this video is exactly how to use meditation to rebalance your life. You'll understand the stress, how stress contributes to Candida, and practical tips to get you meditating every day. She really makes it fun. She has a unique perspective on meditation. It's not your sort of sit down and say, oh, but you'll have to see the video to find out. And then one of my favorite go-to doctors, Dr. Darren Ingalls. He is my Lyme expert that I refer all my Lyme patients to. And what we talk about in our interview is how to fight the hidden infection that's making you sick. And you'll also uncover how there is actually a Lyme and Candida connection and exactly what to do about it. Then, one of my favorite topics, if you know me, is toxic mold. So there's no better expert to talk about toxic mold, besides me, than Jill Carnahan. So you get two world-renowned physicians talking about toxic mold. We had so much fun. I feel bad that Jill and I have both experienced this firsthand, but it makes us great physicians. So you'll find out how to stop the cycle of toxic mold and how there is a mold and Candida connection. All you people who keep getting Candida, I think mold. So you'll learn steps about exactly what to do if you're suspecting that mold is an issue for you and what to do about it. And then I got so many questions about essential oils, I decided to interview the go-to expert, Dr. Eric Zielinski. We talked about the foundations of essential oils, why you want to use essential oils, and how to get started using essential oils, even a couple that help with Candida. And like I mentioned, this is the best part. We have this incredible, vast amount of information in 4 Q&As that were recorded of me and my registered dietitian, Dana, answering the most frequently asked questions the last time we did a Candida challenge. Now, these are real people asking us lots of questions that typically you might have, a question to as well, and you'll have the answer from me and Dana. This is probably 5 or 6 hours worth of information because we always made sure we answered all the questions. Now, don't forget, you get all of that just for a limited time, this week only. Remember that if you were to come and see me, if you were to spend time with me, my registered dietitian, this entire package with all of this expert knowledge would be nearly $5,000. Literally. I mean, I won't quote you what I typically charge for a visit, but $5,000 to have this entire package. But for a limited time, for this week only, you get all of the information that I told you to beat Candida for 30 days, plus the bonus interviews and the Q&As with me and Dana, all for $249. Now, if you want to take it to the next level, if you want to jumpstart and fast track your success, remember when I told you for most people, this Candida is sitting right there in their gut, and the gut is the central part. Remember, the gut is the gateway to health. So if you heal your gut, often you're healing a lot of other things, preventing potentially autoimmune conditions, getting rid of that depression, anxiety. Healing the gut is where it is. So naturally, getting rid of the Candida is going to heal your gut. But if you want to fast track that success, you can upgrade the program and include gut healing supplements. So this includes my top 3 gut supporting supplements that will help you unlock the gateway to health just a little bit more quickly. So collagen. Collagen sort of helps plug up the holes in a leaky gut. That helps support it to heal more quickly. L-glutamine, which supports rejuvenating those gut cells. Now, our gut cells naturally turn over every few days, but this is going to help to speed up that process and restore your gut function more quickly. We have digestive enzymes that just help kind of lower the burden while you're healing your gut. And all of that plus everything that I mentioned before is just $329. So don't forget, when you act now, all of that, you get that if you order this week. Now, if you order today, by midnight tomorrow night, you'll get an even extra bonus. I had so much fun. Dr. Jim Gordon is the director and founder of the Center for the Mind-Body Medicine and a Harvard physician who also knows all about meditation. So many people have told me that this was really game-changing information for them. So we go through a guided meditation with Jim Gordon. So if you order before midnight tomorrow night, this is yours as well. It will be in your inbox. So before we part and before I get to your Q&A, you get to ask me live questions here in just a minute. I wanted to just share a few success stories so you know that it is really possible to take back your life, to get your health back. These are real people who have done this exact program that you too can do. This program was a godsend. 2 different doctors basically laughed at me when I told them I had Candida and that it was causing many of my symptoms. I took matters into my own hands by taking a chance on this program, and I'm so grateful that I did. My symptoms are gone and I feel great. Susan, I have goosebumps. I don't know about you guys. Incredible. This program has literally changed my life. Not only are my symptoms of Candida gone, I don't struggle with allergies since doing the program, while everyone around me seems to be sick. Natalie. So how many of you all, we're getting into flu season here. Everybody around you getting sick. Don't forget that Candida can suppress your immune system. After this challenge, my brain fog and fatigue are gone. Dr. Myers, you saved my marriage and my job. I don't struggle to find words or lose my purse. My brain works again. I have energy for my family, my career, and my passions. I am me again. Thank you. Jennifer, I'm getting a little teary-eyed. This program is the most helpful I've done. The shopping guides and recipes were of immense help. I don't know of any other program that would make this challenge so easy and doable. If you have Candida issues or suspect you do, give this challenge a try. You will not regret it, and you will have great recipes to add to your routine afterwards. From Ruth. I love that she loved the recipes. They are delicious. This program has changed the course of my life for the better. I have chronic asthma and have been sick for 5 months, using inhalers, nebulizers, allergy pills, allergy shots, antibiotics, steroid shots, and prednisones. Wow, that's a lot of medication. After a week of eating the foods and the supplements laid out in the plan, my lungs began to clear up from congestion. By the end of 30 days, I was sold on functional medicine healing my body. I have gained back my energy and feel better than I have felt in years. Sherry. Look at all those medications she was on. That was probably the copay just for all those medicines. And the doctors. Amazing. So proud of you. All right, guys, so I'm about to get into answering your questions, but before we do, I just want to say one more time, conventional medicine failed me. I am on a mission to not have it fail you too. I want to help you beat Candida for good. The choice is yours. Please act now. For just $2.49, you too can have your life back. All right, everybody. I'm going to be answering some frequently asked questions and then getting to your live questions here in just a minute. Now, don't forget, these questions are about the program only. All right, our first frequently asked question is, do I need the supplements? Will diet work alone? So, of course, this is based on years of research and working with thousands of patients. I certainly find that you really need the 3-step approach. Doing the diet will certainly help. The first step is to kill the Candida. The first step is to starve the Candida. So the diet is certainly a part. But I'll be honest with you, you really need part 2 and part 3, which is to kill the yeast and then to re-inoculate with the good bacteria. Do I need testing before I do this program? If you said yes to any of those symptoms that I mentioned on the first slide and then later in the program, the brain fog, the fatigue, the irritability, the anxiety, certainly any of the fungus skin issues like toe fungus or dandruff or tinea versicolor? No, if you answered yes to any of these symptoms from before that I mentioned on the first slide, you're in the right place, and this is the program for you. Can I do this program as a vegetarian or a vegan? Absolutely. However, I would like to caution you that many of you, if you're a vegetarian or a vegan, are likely getting your proteins from grains and legumes. And as I mentioned earlier, grains and legumes, though they're considered healthier grains and legume carbs, they ultimately break down into carbs, which can feed the yeast. So we will be limiting these. So it'll be important that you look for other sources of protein. And of course, my registered dietitian can help you with that. I already have autoimmunity. Will this work for me? Absolutely, guys. You're in the right place. I've worked with thousands upon thousands of people with autoimmune conditions. And one of the common denominators that I see in most all of these people is that they have Candida overgrowth. I literally can probably count on one hand the number of people that I've seen with autoimmunity in my clinic that did not have yeast overgrowth. So this program is really one of the main foundations in healing from autoimmunity. So one of the first steps in healing from autoimmunity is to heal your gut. And one of the first steps to heal your gut is to get rid of the infections. So you're in the right place. If I have SIBO, can I treat both at the same time? Absolutely, you can. So many people are suffering from both small bowel bacterial overgrowth or small intestine bacterial overgrowth and Candida at the same time. I see that all the time. So you'll be getting some emails from me that will go over exactly how you can do this. But ever so quickly, we have a Candida kit on my website, and you can purchase that in addition to this, and then you'll be getting an email with all of your introductory information that will tell you that if you're someone trying to do both programs at one time, exactly how to do this. My Candida keeps coming back. Will it work for me this time? Absolutely. This program is doctor designed. It's proven to be effective. Guys, I got a 30-day money back guarantee if it's not. So I see this work all the time for people. You know, one of the things that I see is that people are kind of doing a little bit here and a little bit there, and they read this program and they went there to this doctor, but they're never really doing it all at one time. I have this 3-step approach to Candida, and it works. Now, of course, if it really is not going away after that, there are a few things that I think about, like toxic mold. And if you join this week, you get that bonus material, the interview with me and Dr. Joel Carnahan, and we'll be talking all about those issues and exactly what to do about it. How will I join? How will I access this material? So when you join, you'll get instant access. So join now, guys. All the info be delivered right to your inbox, ready for you. You can get going right as you're ready. All the program materials are downloadable, so you can save them, you can print them, you can view them on your computer. All the bonus content will also be coming as digital files. So as long as you have access to the internet and you can download files, it will all be delivered to your inbox. Of course, the supplements will come in the mail to you, and we deliver worldwide. I'm on a budget. Won't it cost more to cook like this? If you're eating junk and packaged food, absolutely not. You'll save money. You will be cutting out all these packaged foods and junk and eating real whole foods. You know, I almost exclusively shop at Whole Foods. And over the last 6 months, my husband and I have been doing a lot more grocery shopping at Costco and Target, of all places. Can you believe it? I'm often going there to get things for the baby, and I see all this fresh, real, whole foods, pasture-raised chickens, grass-fed beef, and organic fruits and vegetables. There are much, more affordable ways to get access to real whole foods now. Everybody is jumping on the bandwagon. What if I eat out or travel during the program? You are certainly welcome to continue to eat out while on the program. And if you're traveling, again, all you need is internet access, or you can download all the materials before you go. Now, I don't like recommending eating out too much because you just don't know what people can sneak into the food. But if you need to, it's okay. We give you some tips in the information that you'll receive in the program about exactly how to do that, things to look out for, ways to be prepared, and questions to ask. Can I do the program if I'm pregnant or nursing? Yes. Now remember, pregnancy in and of itself is a high estrogen state, so you could actually be, getting Candida while you're pregnant. So following the diet is absolutely easy, and you're able to follow that aspect of the program while you're pregnant or breastfeeding. Because there haven't been enough studies, and even though the products are all natural, I do recommend holding off on the caprylic acid and the candisol until after the program, until after you finish breastfeeding or you've delivered, because we just don't have enough studies. Likely totally fine. You can, of course, add in the good probiotic. That's going to help you significantly. So you can do 2 out of the 3. So you are able to do the program. And if you need extra guidance, my nutritionist and registered dietitian can help you with that as well. Is this protocol safe for children? Yes, absolutely. The diet is super well balanced and very healthy. Now, in terms of the supplements, we have some recommended dosages on my website for those as well. Now, if your child swallows pills, you're on. If your kid doesn't swallow pills, then taking the supplements might be a little bit difficult. And again, if you need extra help with that, there is wellness coaching with my registered dietitian to talk to you about specifics for you and your family. Okay, seriously, I'm getting to your questions here in just 1 second, but I do not want to go before I say thank you. I really genuinely appreciate each and every one of you who showed up today to spend time with me, but most importantly, for taking the time to learn, to feel empowered, and to commit to taking back your health, to not standing for conventional medicine failing you any longer. Don't forget, if you sign up today, you get everything that you need to break the cycle, to get rid of the Candida, to have your energy, your vitality back. You also get the 4 special interviews that I did with top experts, from meditation to Lyme to toxic mold and even essential oils. And most importantly, you get the 2 live Q&A calls that Dana and I hosted the last time that we did a big challenge with over 500 people going through the challenge. There were lots of incredible questions. I'm sure you will find help in those questions as well. We spent a lot of time live answering those questions. We recorded it, and it's here for you. Don't forget, $249 if you act this week. This is always available on my website, but if you act this week, you get the extra bonuses. And before we get to the questions, guys, real quick, I want to congratulate Joy, Cheryl, Lynette, Maureen, Kenneth, Donna, Rosemary, Tanya, Jennifer, Penny, Margaret, and Mary. Congratulations. These people have already committed. They've taken the next step. They're in the challenge. So proud of you all. Don't forget, if you want to fast track your success, get the gut repair upgrade. That is available for you as well. It includes my 3 top gut support health supplements to help you sort of plug up the leaky gut holes with the collagen, to help rejuvenate the cells in your gut lining with L-glutamine, and to lower the digestive burden with the digestive enzymes. So all of these are going to help speed up that process. And if you act between now and tomorrow night at midnight, you get the special, even extra guided meditation with Dr. Jim Gordon, a leading Harvard physician and founder of Mind Body Medicine. So here we are. Submit your questions and I'll start to answer them. Anna, can you use this program if I'm on Synthroid for hypothyroidism? Anna, that's an excellent question, because I see so many people who have, of course, autoimmunity or hypothyroidism, and Candida is an underlying cause for them. So absolutely, there's no problem taking the supplements, doing this program. In fact, it may even help. Certainly, if you have Hashimoto's, you likely might see those antibodies dropping or even diminishing. So absolutely not a problem to do this program while you're on Synthroid or any type of thyroid hormone for that matter, whether it's Armour or Western Pure, any of those. Christina would like to know, can I eat fruit on the program? Christina, you can eat fruit, though we are going to be minimizing the amount of fruit and starchy vegetables that you'll be eating. It's limited to 2 cups a day because, again, these carbs and fruit, even though they're good for you, they can feed Candida. Margaret, do you need to do the leaky gut program first? Margaret, you don't need to do the leaky gut program first. Certainly you can do them in combination if you'd like, but one of the first steps in healing your gut is getting rid of the Candida. So this program is going to help fast track your success in healing your leaky gut. Nancy, Dr. Myers, does your program address other issues that feed into Candida, including mercury? Absolutely, Nancy. So we have a whole guide at the end of the program of how to transition into your new life that's Candida free. And we also go over some stumbling blocks of reasons why Candida might be hanging around, including toxic mold, mercury. So we have that, and that is part of the program for you. Kathy, is the program paleo? Yes, Kathy, the program is paleo. I have modified paleo to call it the Myers way because I like to think of it as a way of life. And there are a few things from at least the autoimmune paleo program that I've tweaked a little bit. But yes, I mean, certainly the program, if you want, will be taking out grains and legumes and be eating high quality, lean animal proteins, good healthy fats, some minimized starchy fruits and vegetables. These were really great questions, everybody. Again, I want to thank you all for your time. I know you could have been doing many, many other things during this last hour. So I, again, appreciate you for showing up. I appreciate you for putting yourself and your health first and for being here today. I look forward to seeing many of you on the other side. Take care.